Hi everyone, it's Andy, personal trainer in the Writing Gym. Today on the Writing Gym podcast, we're featuring Annalisa Parent talking about how to avoid self-publishing pitfalls with Vanessa Talbot. In this episode, she's going to teach you how to create a high-quality book that will leverage your business, earn more money, and get you clients, and reach your ideal client with unique solutions to their problem. Thank you so much for listening to the Writing Gym podcast. And if you want to pick up other unique solutions to your writing problems, go to www.datewiththemuse.com/6secrets to download our special free booklet on how to turn yourself from a struggling writer into a published author. And if you are ready to get that book published and are ready to speak to Annalisa Parent about the next steps in your publishing adventure, go to www.datewiththemuse.com/book-a-call to speak with her about how you can become a published author today. Thank you so much. Happy writing.
Welcome, Annalisa.
Well, thank you, Vanessa. It's so great to be here, and I'm really excited to speak with everyone today about how to avoid self-publishing pitfalls. So welcome, everyone. It's great to see you. I love seeing those comments there. There's the Q&A section as well, and I'm sure that you'll let us know when you have questions. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to skip all of the getting to know you. I know I see some familiar names over there. I just want to leave enough time for Q&A at the end. So how to avoid self-publishing pitfalls. Aha. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. There we are. So you're here because you're a successful entrepreneur with a proven system and a track record for results. And you know that a book is important to scale your business, to increase your visibility and your revenue, but you're not sure how you should do it. So in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how to create a high-quality book that will leverage your business, earn you more money and get clients, reach your ideal client with your unique solution to their problem. I'm also going to show you how to speak your client's language and attract them to you, how to leverage your business, earn more money, and get clients. We're also going to work on growing your audience to explode your bottom line and getting clarity around your client's problem and talk with them. So, who am I? I am Annalisa Parent. As Vanessa pointed out at the beginning, I am the senior editor over at Laurel Elite Books. We help authors to write, publish, and sell their books. I'm also a published author in my own right. I have a 20-plus year writing career in many, many genres, including nonfiction. So here's my promise to you. Today, I'm going to show you a step-by-step strategy to create a client attraction magnet like you've never seen before. But before we get into all the good stuff, let me check in with all of you and see where you are. Are you discouraged because the book that you wrote just sits around your office, unsold and cluttering up space? Do you get confused by all of the options out there and whether or not they can help you to achieve your goals? Are you discouraged because the book you wrote just sits around unsold and cluttering up that office? And do you see other business owners, coaches, and entrepreneurs leveraging their books, selling and scaling, and wonder how you can do that too? Do you know you have a book in you, that you're a writer who truly has something to say, but you don't know how to get that message onto the page? And finally, Do you know you yearn for better visibility, quality media attention, and the spotlight you deserve? Now, Vanessa, as I've said those, I'm sure that those qualities ring a bell for you as you think through that. So I'm going to let you chime in here and talk a little bit about what you've seen out there, especially since you are a visibility coach, someone who's helping people to get into the spotlight.
Yeah, one thing that I notice a lot, Annalisa, and that is people self-publishing their books and then having boxes and boxes and boxes of them sitting out in their garage or their back shed unsold, and they'll sit there for years and years and years because people are not sure how to actually, once they've got their book in hand, how to actually get them out there and use it to build an audience for them. So they don't get the leverage from the book that they want. And I see that time and time again. And I've talked to many coaches and change makers who become authors, and they'll tell me that same story. I didn't get the leverage from the book that I wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think there's a lot of frustration around that garage full of books or office full of books because it's not doing what people want it to do. And I guess that could be discouraging as well.
Yeah, it's not going to feel good, is it? And I did hear some stats, which I won't go into them, but I remember when I wrote my book, which is about 5 years ago now, so it is a way back. And of course, I'm on to, looking at my next book with you. But when I wrote back then, I checked out the stats, and it said things like, most self-published authors, and this was, 6 years ago or 5 or 6 years ago, will only sell a maximum of 100 books because they don't know how to get them out there to their audience. So that was one thing when I went into mine. I was determined to make sure that I got over that 100 book mark of sales.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are all really good points. Well, and the thing is, Vanessa, what we're leading to here is, we've got all of these symptoms, but the thing that people miss, and the reason why we have these people here with us today for this masterclass, is that they miss what the real problem is. So I'm going to tell you what the real problem is today. The real problem is that you've fallen for or into these pitfalls. So what I'm going to do right now is talk you through some of these pitfalls, these self-publishing pitfalls that authors fall into, that they don't end up leveraging their book, they don't end up selling their book, and it doesn't become the tool that they want it to. So if you haven't gotten a pen and pencil, piece of paper to take notes yet, now would be the time to do it, because here comes the meat and potatoes. Once you get out of these pitfalls, you will sell your books to your ideal clients or your ideal audience. Your ideal clients will be calling on you, no more chasing. You'll be making more money working with the people you love to work with. And you'll be the featured go-to expert in high-level media outlets. And you'll do all of this while getting the professional recognition that you deserve. So I told you a little bit about me. This slide popped up a little soon, but yes, I am the senior editor of Laurel Elite Books. We help entrepreneurs and coaches and business owners to write, publish, and sell their high-quality expert books. And as I mentioned, I'm also a published author myself. So I specialize in helping entrepreneurs to write high-quality books to deliver the unique message that appeals to their ideal clients and sells. So here's pitfall number one. A lot of coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners say, but it's only writing. And the thing about that pitfall is that it's so much more than writing. It's about clarity. It's about doing something that is attention grabbing. It's about compelling voice. It's about high quality design. So a lot of people come to me, and Vanessa, I'm sure you can tell some stories out of school here as well. And they say, well, it's no big deal. I write a blog. I know how to do this. But the thing about a client magnet book is that there are techniques, there are strategies, there are organizational strategies for creating a book that has all of these attributes that I've put here on this slide, so that your prose is clear, so that it really keeps your reader turning pages, even though it's nonfiction, right? Nonfiction has this reputation for being boring, just kind of in general out there. Well, you don't want to put a boring book out into the world. You want people to read this thing and love it. To have a compelling voice that really speaks to your audience. You need to be speaking their language and talking to them in a way that they understand. Otherwise, you're going to alienate your audience and they're going to throw your book against the wall and not want to read it. You don't want that. You want them to read your book and love your book. And lastly, you want a compelling design. And I think that we could all sit around a campfire and tell horror stories of poorly designed books and how hard they were to read, to say nothing of typos and other kind of design elements. Do you want to hop in there, Vanessa, and tell us about your experience with this?
Yeah, as I said, I talk to a lot of coaches out there who want to become authors or who have become authors. And sometimes I do hear them say, well, I'm just going to push a book out quickly. And there is this thing where, you can get these books out, super fast, super quickly. And there doesn't sometimes be a lot of focus on the quality. And I feel what you're talking about here is that it's not just writing and pushing a book out as quickly as possible so that you can elevate your expert status. You need to develop a quality book that has these points to it that you've pointed out here, because to elevate you to expert status, just any old book isn't going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see there can be a bit of a mentality where, it's easy enough, just to publish a book, get it to be a bestseller on Amazon, and then woe and behold, I'm an expert because I've got it out. So I do see that happening. And unfortunately, because of that trait, push a book out as quickly as possible, the quality can be lacking. And like you say, that can actually do a backflip on your status, can't it, if it's a poor quality book?
Absolutely. And that was a really beautiful segue into what I wanted to talk about next. It's like you're reading my mind over there, which is that pitfall number 2 is writers come to me and they say, well, but all I need is a book. And the thing is, you don't just need a book. As you point out, it's not about having your name on the front of a whole bunch of dead trees stacked together. It's so much more than that. The content actually matters. And some people think, if I just self-publish something, anything, that's all I need. And that's just not true. And the thing about this particular myth or pitfall around all I need is a book, it's got a close cousin. And this is a little bit taboo to talk about because it ruffles people's feathers, but I'm going to go there. People talk about being a bestseller all the time. And what they mean is that they're an Amazon bestseller, and there are coaches and programs out there that will promise to make you an Amazon bestseller. And that sounds like it might be really cool, but it's sort of like one of those summer camps where everybody gets a trophy for participating, because an Amazon bestseller is really easy to do. It's just a matter of goofing around with the algorithms on Amazon. And so it doesn't actually mean anything. And it might mean something to you. If it means something to you personally and you want to do it for your personal edification, then that's fine. There's no judgment on that. But if you want to do it because you think that it will impress others, it won't. It's really like a participation ribbon from your 3rd grade recess marathon. It's not it doesn't carry any weight. So you're not going to walk into a bookstore and say, hey, I'm an Amazon bestseller. Don't you want to sell my book? They're going to roll their eyes at you. And I want to be really honest about that, because as I said, there are programs out there in the world that are pitching making you into a bestseller with the idea that that badge is going to open doors for you, and it simply won't. It's a lie. It's a pitfall. It's a myth. Whatever you want to call it, it doesn't work. So I just want to be really, really honest about that. So, what we're talking about here is that the content of your book matters, that just self-publishing something and throwing it out there into the world isn't going to do it for you. And then the close cousin to that, which is, creating an inflated bestseller, also isn't going to open the doors that you might want it to, or that other people might tell you it does.
Can I jump in there, Annalisa? Because I've got a really interesting story that people might like to hear around that bestseller campaign stuff. When I did my book, as everyone knows, about 5 or 6 years ago, I did actually do one of those bestseller campaigns by a very, very big name author and in marketing books in Canada there. And we became quite friendly. And I spoke to her about 8 months ago. I did an interview with her, and I said, are you still doing that bestseller campaign? Because it was actually really, really good. And she said, oh, no, we don't do that anymore. She said, Amazon bestsellers don't carry any weight anymore. Very much what you just said, Annalisa. It's got a bit of a, oh, yeah, okay, right, you're Amazon bestseller. So it doesn't carry the weight anymore that it may have. And I think people in our industry have really wised up to the bestseller tag.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that it doesn't necessarily have to have sold, hundreds of thousands of copies. It only had to sell perhaps 300 to get that bestseller tag. So I don't think there's a lot of credibility anymore to the Amazon bestseller tag. Not saying though that if you want to do it, then that's fine. But don't expect it to have that weight, that pull that it might have done.
Yeah, exactly. And, the question that I ask authors who, ruffle their feathers around this, and they're a little bit resistant in believing that it's not going to hold the weight they want to, the bottom line is, do you want to be called a bestseller, or do you want to sell books? Because they aren't necessarily the same thing. And what we do is help people to sell books. We don't promise them labels and prizes. So, all right, let's move on to the next pitfall. Pitfall number 3, people say to me, it's just a book. What's the big deal? It's so much more than a book. The time and the money that you invest isn't in a book. The book isn't the outcome. So many people make the mistake of focusing on the wrong place and thinking that this whole entrepreneur expert book thing is about a book, and it's not about a book. It's about increased visibility. It's about higher income. It's about more sales. It's about more speaking gigs. It's about higher level media appearances. In sum, it's everything that makes a better, more successful business. So your book is a conduit to that place, right? So here's an analogy, because I love them. If you think about going to work in the morning, for people who work a 9-to-5 job, right? The point is to get to work on time, not about the car. The car is just the way to get there, or the bus, or walking, or riding a bike. That's just the way to get there. What you want is to get to the final destination, which is increased visibility, higher income, more sales, more speaking gigs, better media appearances. How do you do that? With a high quality book. So the book is the conduit to the success. I'll let you hop in, Vanessa, if you have comments on that.
Oh, I'm just struggling to find the unmute button there, Annalisa. I was stuck for a while. How many times have I used this? Yeah, look, that's a great point because I think a lot of people, do just think, oh, it's just a book. But like you're saying, it's not so much about the book. It's where that book is leading you. And when I talk profile building, and I work with someone and they want to do a book as part of that, it's about helping them realize that the book opens the doorways to all that other stuff that then raises your visibility in your profile so much more. And that is, yeah, you may get some media attention. Yeah, hopefully, if you've written an expert book, you'll be getting the invites to speak and speak at some of the bigger stuff too, not just the really small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it is about allowing that book to open those doorways for you. Now, if people can't see your book, meaning it is stuck in the garage in those boxes, it doesn't invite those invites, so to speak. That's why the book, a lot of these books don't do anything. So great point.
Thanks, Vanessa. So let's move on to pitfall number 4. Pitfall number 4, people come to me and they think that having a book means writing a book. And that sounds a little silly because, of course, you do have to write a book. That is part of the process. However, it is so much more than that. In addition to just sitting down and writing a book, you need to think about cover design, text layout, print setting, paper quality, marketing, quality writing. The list goes on and on. And the mistake that so many writers make is that they think, oh, all I need to do is write a book. And then they get 6 or 5 or 10 months down the road and they find out, oh, now I need a cover. Oh, how do I lay out text? Oh, how do I convert that PDF? Oh, I need to think about paper quality. What does that mean? What is my audience expecting? Are there marketing considerations there? Right? And so they have all of these other considerations that go above and beyond the actual putting words onto paper. And so the question that I would caution everyone to think about before they get into this is, are you an expert on all of those things? Over at Laurel Elite Books, it takes an entire team of people to flesh out all the skills needed to produce a quality book. So if you're a diet coach or a visibility coach like Vanessa, do you have the skills of that entire team of people at a publishing house to put together a high quality book? Because you're going to be going down a road where you're going to need a level of expertise in all of those areas in order to create a book.
When I did my book, I got stuck when it came to those questions, because I had, you've got your manuscript, so to speak, and then it was like, well, what paper quality? And, there's different in pricings with the different paper quality as well. But then I came to understand that certain papers made your book look flimsy and cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about knowing which were the better options for paper. And, when I started my book venture, I didn't even think I'd have to think about this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm really glad you pointed that out. I mean, that's really like case in point. And I think a lot of people fall in that trap. And then, you actually finished, Vanessa, so kudos to you. But a lot of them just don't end up finishing because there's so many pieces, right? They spend all of their time, they're wasting all of their time researching paper quality, and they're not bringing in clients. They're not doing the work of their business because they've tried to do this overwhelming do-it-yourself project in putting together a book.
Well, I finished because I had help. I had extra help.
There you go.
I just didn't try and do it all on my own. I got to that point where I realized, okay, so I need this editor to come in and look at everything. And okay, I really need someone now to come in and give me this advice on paper quality, on design, on cover design, all that sort. On distribution was another thing. So I had to hire someone to come and help me with all that. Annalisa, I did not attempt to do it all on my own there.
Yeah. But, and, I'm going to guess, I wasn't there, but I'm going to guess that there was some time waste there, because then you had to find a good person to help you with each one of those individual pieces.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. I didn't do too bad in the time that I got my book out. But yeah, there was that time of, looking for the right people, getting recommendations, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is time consuming, and not time that you can be focusing on what you should be focusing on, which is your business, right? All right, so let's go ahead.
I will admit that in writing the book, there did get a fair bit of time, caught up in these details of wondering where I was going to go next. So yeah, completely get what you're talking about there. I would do it differently this time around, Annalisa. That's why I'm heading off with you.
Awesome. I love it. All right, well, let's jump into the last pitfall. No, let's not jump into it, but let's talk about it. Pitfall number 5, which is, I can do it myself. And, this one's an interesting one, because most of the people who say this are coaches who help people through not having to deal with life problems and business problems on their own. So my advice here is to do what you advise your clients to do, to get the right quality of help to ensure that your effort is going to have the results that you're looking for. So some of you may have seen, I had a recent interview with Margaret Reynolds. She's worked with high-level, big-name American and international corporations. She's kind of a big deal. And here's what she said to me when I talked to her about the process of putting together a book. This is her book, Reignite: How Everyday Companies Spark Next Stage Growth. And here's what she said. So if you're not a content specialist, if you're a content specialist, you're probably not a book writing specialist. So do what you would advise your clients to do. And this is what she said: get the right quality of help to ensure that your effort is going to have the results you're looking for. That way, you can have no regrets, no bad experiences, and no bad outcomes by doing it right. When she said that to me, that really resonated with me. And, she's a wise woman. As I said, she's worked with a lot of high-level Fortune 500 companies. So she knows her stuff. She knows what she's talking about, and she's written books. And so, getting that help, not expecting yourself to be able to become a content expert in all of these additional areas in life, and just getting the help that you need is really, really important to this process, so that you don't end up frustrated, you don't end up losing time, wasting time, following false leads, feeling frustrated, or, the worst case scenario, just never getting it done because there are so many threads to chase around that it becomes an overwhelming time suck.
Yeah, that's something that I've actually heard from people who have written books, how it did end up becoming that a time suck, as you've just said. So yeah, really, really interesting. I think that anyone who's gotten a book out there and gotten it out there in a big way, I would have to say for the vast majority of them, they would have had help, wouldn't you not think, Annalisa, in some way? Because most people I see that are doing it all on their own, they're the ones whose books are ending up in the garage and not getting seen, which is really, really sad, because when you think about the effort that you put into your book and the time that you've put to it, to not get a result from it at the end, that's so sad, because some of these books would be pretty good as well. I've seen some of them and they're actually really pretty good, and they're not getting out there to the people that they need to get to, and therefore they then don't build that coaches or that change makers or whoever it is don't build their business in the way that a book can actually build your business.
Yeah, exactly. And so they've missed out on this tool that could have leveraged properly, launched them into this whole new area of life. And instead it's, sitting where the car should be.
Yeah, and I'm sure when everyone goes to start their book, that's the aim, isn't it? We don't just go to start a book to have it sitting in the garage. We want it to do this stuff for us. But I think for a lot of people is they then don't know how to make that happen.
Yeah, and here's what I would guess, Vanessa, as I listen to you talking, right? So if we think about like the do-it-yourself or putting together a book. So first I had to figure out how to write it, then I had to figure out the cover, and then I had to figure out the design, and then I had to figure out, and that, so by the time I'm done and like I actually have a book in my hand, I'm exhausted. I don't want to figure out any more stuff. And really, like the moment where you get your book in your hand, that's when the real work starts of making it work
Yeah.
for you. And you're exhausted by that point because you spent all that energy figuring out how to make the book that you don't know how to make it work.
Yeah, I always say to people, the work in the book is when you've got it in your hand, because that's when you've got to get it out there. So yeah, and I always, tell people, this is just a little tip for those of you that are listening. If you are going to work on a book, and of course you're spending that time with writing and putting it together, and hopefully you've got someone that's helping you out with that. But while you are doing that, how long does that take on average, Annalisa?
To write the
To
book?
put the book all together. Like if you start from start to finish, around how long does it usually take? Say with your company, how long does it take? And then perhaps how long does it take the average person who's self-publishing?
Our program helps you to finish your first draft in 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then of course there are revisions and you work with the editorial team so that it's top quality. How long does it take if you're not working with us? I'm not sure. I know that there are people out there who have taken years to write it, and I know that there are people who have done programs that get it done for you seemingly instantly. So, I'm not sure. My measure isn't about time. My measure is about quality. So I think our program is the really good intersection of getting it done quickly enough, but getting it done super well.
Yeah. So the point I was trying to make was that the time that it takes you to put your book together, of course, and then you've got to sell it, once it's book in hand, like you said, when you've got book in hand, that's when the real work begins. You can actually be building your audience and building your profile before you actually create your book. So a lot of people think, I'll just create my book and then bam, everything happens. But like you said, the real work begins then. But what we can do also is have you doing, while you're working on your book and putting it together, you can be building that audience as well, so that then when you've got it and release it, it can actually take off easier
Absolutely.
for you as well. So
Absolutely.
that's what I want to say to people. Don't just write your book and then, you've done nothing to build your profile or audience, and you just think the book's going to open everything for you. If you can work on building your profile on that beforehand and have a bit of an audience as well for your book, that's really going to help you get that lift off. And then, of course, when you're with someone like Annalisa, you've got a little bit of lift off, but then you can do so much more because you've got the guidance and that to work it through. But that's a major mistake I see a lot of people doing. They think that the book is just going to just go boom. So I'll put all this effort into writing the book and then my work is done. But like you pointed out, no, that's only the beginning of your work with the book, isn't it? Because then it opens up the way for all the rest of the good stuff to start coming through.
Exactly. And your point about having a plan in place and about starting your marketing from day one alongside with the writing, you pointed out exactly why we do it in that way and how the pre-sales and everything that you put together from the get-go is really, really important to the success of that book.
Yeah. I've just got a question here from Andrea. She's just said, she's just looking for some package info from Laurel Elite Books. Will we be discussing? I think Annalisa's going to tell you a little bit about the Australian retreat, but Annalisa will be able to tell you or get in touch with you for information anyway. So we'll let you know about the Australian retreat, but Annalisa's probably got time to mention working with Laurel Elite anyway.
Yes.
So that's from Andrea. So
thanks,
we'll
Andrea.
move on. Yeah, and then we'll get that answered for you, Andrea, and cleared up for you.
Thanks. All right, so today I promised to tell you how to create a high quality book that will leverage your business, it's there twice, earn more money and get more clients, reach your ideal client with your unique solution to their problem. I also promised that I would show you how to create a high quality book that will speak your client's language and attract them to you, how to grow your audience and explode your bottom line, and how to get clarity around your client's problems and talk with them about it. So we've done all of those things here today, Vanessa. And I've also talked about what it is that you need to win. And so here's a really quality list of what you need to win. High quality content that is clear, compelling, and attention grabbing. We talked about that, not falling into that pitfall. We talked about the necessity for high quality design so that your book is visually appealing and also designed in a way that's going to draw your reader in and keep them reading. We talked about knowing how to leverage your book as a tool, that it's not just a book, it's a tool, that the importance of having a marketing and sales plan, and the importance of professional support and guidance. And these 5 shifts alone, just making these 5 shifts, getting out of the pitfalls and seeing your book in a new way are enough to propel you into massive visibility, growth, and income.
Can I just jump in here? I find, you know how you've said high quality design?
Mm-hmm.
I found that I can often tell a home designed cover and self-published cover design because they really stand out from the ones that have been done professionally and not in often a good way. And so sometimes people nail it, but for a lot of the time, and it does point to the reluctance for some, you know, book distributors and that to not carry some of the self-published books because of that reason. The design is poor.
Absolutely.
And that will affect whether the distributors and the bookstores will carry your book. So you need to really, really hone in on high quality design for your book because you're up there against the publishing houses.
Absolutely.
And they're doing top-notch stuff, and their stuff is what's on the bookstores, and distributors handle their stuff. There can be that reluctance to carry the self-publishing books because their design quality is often rather poor. So that's something to think about and make sure that you do get high-quality design. Invest in that. It's going to save you and help you in the long run.
Right. So now that we've talked about these shifts, now you have a choice. So you can take all of the information that I've given you and you can forget all about it, keep on struggling to get clients, keep on writing articles to that blog that no one's seen and it's not making you any money. You can keep grinding out content and working your fingers to the bone. Or if you want to start getting the kind of clients that you know you deserve, the ideal clients that you've always wanted to work with, if that's what you want, then here's what I have for you. Here's how I can help. My team and I have set aside some time in the next few days to speak with you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business today. On this session, we will work with you to craft a step-by-step game plan for reaching your ideal client, getting the visibility you deserve, growing your business, and increasing your income. The cost, it's absolutely free. The catch is this isn't for everyone. Here's who this is for. This is for you if you have a business, you must have a business that solves a major life or business problem for your clients. You must be outstanding at what you do. And you must hold yourself, your business, and your brand to the highest standards of integrity and quality. So a lot of people ask me, why am I doing this? I do this because I love giving back and helping business owners to achieve their goals. Plus, I know that you might want help to transform your business. If so, we can discuss it and see if it's a good fit for both of us. And if not, that's fine too. So if you'd like to book a call with me to talk about how we can scale your business, how you can get a high quality book written, published, and sold, this is the link, www.datewiththemuse.com/apply. There are limited spaces, so I do recommend that you sign up right now. If you'd like to speak with me, now's the time to get in there and get first dibs on the best spots. So this is the website, Andrea, to answer your question. We're in the process of redoing everything over at Laurel Elite, including our website. So we'll have that up and running soon. But for today, this is where you can go to get in touch with me directly and talk with me about your business, your book, your goals, and how you can get there.
Don't worry, Annalisa. My website's in disarray at the moment as well because I'm redoing it.
It happened. My goodness.
That New Year thing to get it all spruced up and changed and whatnot as well. Can you just tell us a little bit too about the Aussie retreat? Because you are bringing Laurel Elite's book writing program for expert books, because that's what you deal with, books that are going to establish you as an expert, out to Australia. And you have something, it's the retreat in March and the entire program. So the retreat, I just want everyone to know, the retreat is for, 5 or 6 days, but you don't write the whole book on that retreat, do you? You, like you said, you do 8 weeks beforehand on your first draft.
Indeed. Yeah. So, you know, we talk a lot about retreat, but it actually is a program. And so we're meeting with you online. You're going to be working with my editorial team. We have a full team of experienced authors. Many of them are bestsellers. And when I say bestseller, I mean New York Times bestsellers in their own right. So they've got a lot of experience collectively. They're a great team. They help you to get your message out. So we've had people come to us who've never even written a blog entry, probably wrote a letter to their mom from summer camp once. I mean, they're just not, they wouldn't call themselves writers and write beautiful books. So very, very skilled team helping you with your book, simultaneously working on that marketing plan that we've been talking about. So you'll be working with the marketing team over at Laurel Elite to put together that marketing plan so that your books sell, so that by the time you do have that book in your hand, you know exactly what you're going to do with it because you've created that plan. You've already got those doors open and they're waiting for your book. So we do those in tandem in preparation for the retreat. Once we get to the retreat, and we're going to be at a beautiful resort in the Dandenong Range outside of Melbourne, Australia. And as Vanessa said, we'll be there for 5 days, living in the lap of luxury. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And not just that, it's not about just the beautiful location. It's not just about the high quality, fine food made from local food sources. Those are really important, but we're also going to do some really important work there. So that's where you'll be finalizing all of your marketing work. So we'll do a professional photo shoot. We help you with all of your videos. We're finalizing your website at that point. We are helping you to put the finishing touches on whatever your lead magnets are that are going to be attached to your book. You are also going to finalize much of your manuscript at that point, and you know, you're going to get to see the hard copy of your cover for the very first time and hold it and have your picture taken with it for promotional purposes. So we've got a lot of important work that we do at the retreat, and of course some laughs that we have as well. So that's the program in a nutshell that we offer. And as Vanessa said, we will be outside of Melbourne, Australia in March of this year, which is really exciting. We have only 10 spots. We do super small programs on purpose. It's almost one-to-one. My team is actually bigger than the number of participants that we take on, and that's by design. I want you to get a lot of attention around your book. That's how we make high quality books, and that's how our authors sell 500,000 books.
Yeah, and what I want to point out there too, like people are listening, what's included in this book writing program. You can tell everyone that's listened to what Annalisa's just told you, unlike, quite a few of the book writing programs out there, you are not just getting a book in hand. There's so much more. You can hear how you're doing all this other stuff and the marketing and all the rest of it that's going with it, unlike a lot of other stuff where you just got the book and then it's, well, hello, off you go on your own, which is the opening to the door to the garage on most occasions. So this program, it's not just giving you a book, it's actually giving you that elevated status and the business building that a good high quality book delivers.
Indeed. Yes, that is what we specialize in. And, we're called Laurel Elite for a reason. We want you to wear that victorious laurel wreath. We want you to be in an elevated elite status. Coming right out of the gate, you should start at a high point so that you can really get to where your goals are. We're not in the business of churning out books for the sake of churning out books. That's not what we do. We care very deeply about the people we work with. We take on people who, you saw my list of people who we work with, and we're really serious about that. We take on people who are on board with our mission of helping people, of taking ourselves seriously enough to help people well without taking ourselves so seriously that we're curmudgeons. That's what we stand for, and we feel really strongly about delivering a high quality product to and for coaches who deliver a high quality product.
Yeah, your book becomes a reflection of you and your business. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. I just want to open it up. If anyone's got any questions at all of Annalisa, I know Andrea, we should have taken care of yours, hopefully. And if you want to get some information from Annalisa, you've got that website there where you can apply to have that chat with Annalisa for more information as well. Does anyone actually have some questions about publishing any of this stuff that we've talked about, or even anything else that you want to bring up? Pop it in now before we finish off. Or if you're all quiet, is there anything else you want to add, Annalisa?
Gosh, I think that we've covered quite a lot. I'm really excited to be in Australia. I know that, your audience there in Australia is excited to have us come. And of course, people are welcome to fly in, as I'm doing, from anywhere in the world and join us. It's not just for Australians.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You don't have to be living in Australia to actually partake in this particular book writing program. You can fly in, enjoy that 5 days in the gorgeous Dandenong Ranges outside of Melbourne from anywhere. So you don't just have to be an Aussie to come and partake in this particular program.
Yes.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we've got any questions, so that's all good. I want to thank you so much, Annalisa. This is a program that I actually believe in, because Annalisa's program is not just, like she said, it's not just churn out books. That's not what it's about, and it's more aligned with my work. I want you to gain massive visibility, the type of profile that you want to have. Whether you want to be Tony Robbins-esque profile, or whether you want to be on a lesser degree, having a high quality book that shows your expertise and opens those doors for you is going to help elevate your profile. So this is why I'm really aligned with Annalisa's program, because it gives you so much more than just a book in hand. You just get a book in hand and you haven't had any of that other stuff, the marketing, the profile building beforehand, and all the other stuff that comes with it. That's when you get tripped up. That's when I've seen so many coaches and change makers get stuck. And then they've invested their time and effort in a book and it just doesn't do anything for them. So really be wary of that. Whether you whether you get help or join Annalisa's program, or even if you do go it alone, make sure that you're working on your visibility and all that, not just churning out the book. Hopefully you'll connect with Annalisa. You'll have a look at this great book writing program. It's something that, as I said, I'm in for my next book as well, because I did it kind of half and half on my own is how I'd call it, Annalisa. It was kind of half on my own and then half with the help. But I'm this time going for full support the whole way through. I know, having done it the other way, and I didn't even do it all on my own, so I can't imagine what that would actually be like, to be honest, to do it all on my own. So that's why this time I just know it's more effective for me to do it with the complete help and guidance, and for your team to be taking a care of all this detail that, to be really honest, I've got too many clients to serve. I've got too much of an audience to provide stuff for, to actually be fussing around details like paper.
Yes.
Not where my mind wants to go.
Oh.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.
And hope to see you on the Australian retreat, or hope to see you with your book out there, and for it to bringing you clients, building your profile, and scaling up your business. Thank you so much, Annalisa. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And I hope that you're now aware of some of these self-publishing pitfalls and you won't be falling into them.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.